For thousands of years the galaxy believed Earth was long gone, swallowed by time and silence. No records of humanity remained except scattered myths, unreadable fragments of digital archives, and broken satellites drifting far beyond any known star route. Most civilizations laughed when the ancient rumors of humans resurfaced. They called humans weak, emotional, and primitive. They believed humanity died long before intelligent life truly evolved elsewhere. But on that cycle, when an alien archaeological fleet reached the solar system, their scanners read something strange. The entire region was unusually quiet, no star lanes, no mining routes, no trade stations. Just a silent system floating in forgotten space. Their ships slowed as they approached Earth. The commander of the fleet, Lord Zeltor, stood near the viewing port, watching a dust-covered planet with dead oceans and cracked continents. "What is this place?" one engineer asked. "Nothing but a graveyard," another replied with a bored tone. Earth looked like a ruined stone, half broken, half frozen. There were no living structures, no power grids, and no visible cities. The skies above it held scattered debris from old orbital rings, but they looked so ancient that nature had almost taken them apart. The alien fleet assumed there was nothing to find, nothing valuable, nothing alive. Until a long-range scanner activated a soft alert. Unknown metallic mass detected beneath planetary crust. At first they ignored it. Many planets had old minerals or empty underground caves. But another alert flashed. Then another. And soon their entire sensor board lit up with readings. Massive buried metal formations, energy signal, low but active. The commander turned sharply. "Show me elevation data." A hologram projected Earth's surface. Beneath the cracked ground were huge rectangular structures, thousands of them, layered like sleeping blocks. The scanner software could not categorize them under known technology. Their metal signatures did not match any recognized alloy or industrial pattern. The science team debated possibilities. Maybe it is natural formation. Maybe ancient mining systems. Maybe primitive human warehouses. But then one specialist noticed something unusual. These structures are sealed. Completely sealed. And energy sensors show active reactors, still running. That statement silenced everyone. How can a reactor remain charged after 500,000 years? The commander ordered landing operations. When they touched ground, the air was silent and dry. The earth was brittle and thin like powdered stone. Their machines began drilling into the surface, removing layers of crust that had gathered over thousands of years. The moment they broke through the first stone barrier, dust burst into the atmosphere, forming glowing clouds under artificial lights. What they found beneath the rock was not mining equipment. Not storage. Not remnants of civilization. It was a hangar opening, wide enough to swallow entire cities. Its doors were taller than mountains. Every inch was covered with metallic ribs, wires, conduits, ancient plates, and strange patterns unknown to alien science. One worker stepped forward and touched the surface. Immediately a light flickered. A soft pulse traveled down the metallic ribs and spread into the ground. Everyone stepped back in fear. "What did you activate?" the commander shouted. "I did nothing," it responded to touch. Hundreds of lights appeared like tiny stars forming trails across the buried structure. A symbol formed on the ground, a triangular crest with 3 wings spreading outward. It looked unusual, sharp, elegant, and unfamiliar. Then the whole platform vibrated. Dust rolled away. Broken stones slid off. And a deep rumbling came from beneath their feet. The ground split open slowly, not because they forced it, but because the machines underneath were waking up on their own. Faint mechanical sounds echoed, ancient locks and gears. This technology was not rusted. It was not brittle. It was sleeping. And now it was awake. A command transmission leaked from the buried system into their scanners. Their computers translated it automatically. The message was short, old, but clear. Origin access detected, human asset activation protocol online. The aliens froze. No one spoke. They thought Earth was dead. They believed humans vanished weekly. But the discovery in that silent graveyard told a different truth. Humanity did not disappear. Humanity prepared for someone to find them. And whatever was sleeping under Earth's surface was not peaceful history. It was something created for war. Something made to defend a world long after its people vanished. And it had just begun to awaken. The tremors beneath the surface did not stop. The alien fleet expected a collapse, maybe an earthquake or mechanical implosion. But the vibration formed a repeating rhythm, almost like a heartbeat returning after centuries of silence. The commander ordered all personnel to step back as the ancient ground continued to shift. Dust erupted, floating like golden fog under artificial lights. A section of the ground lifted upward, rising slowly until its edges scraped the air. It was not rock anymore, now it looked like steel waking from sleep. The slab split apart, forming two colossal panels sliding sideways. What lay beneath stunned every living mind in that excavation zone. Inside the opening was a chamber filled with machines the size of cities. Rows of giant angular vessels rested in a silent formation, stacked in tiers like sleeping beasts. Their outer hulls were unlike any known warship design. The metal was smooth, seamless, without bolts or welding lines. Instead, it looked sculpted like a single continuous skin. Their scanner systems identified unfamiliar alloys, extremely dense, resistant to corrosion, pressure, and radiation. The machines did not age, they simply paused time. Suddenly one ship flickered. Then another. Then a third. Blue lines glowed across their hulls, forming geometric stripes and illuminated veins. These patterns pulsed, creating a synchronized ripple across the entire fleet. Someone whispered, "They are powering up." At that moment, every alien stepped backward. Their instruments confirmed it, the machines were drawing energy from the deep planetary core. A silent ignition triggered within the buried hangars, shaking the atmosphere without making a single explosion. Then a sound, deep, hollow, echoing, like ancient turbines warming after rest. The commander opened communication to his orbiting fleet. "Prepare evacuation engines. These structures are not relics, they are operational." Before the message finished, one vessel detached from its docking clamps. It rose on invisible propulsion, floating gently upward toward the enormous exit that had opened above. Its hull reflected a faint golden shimmer from the dust and lights. The ship was massive, yet it moved with the grace of a feather. Another followed. Then another. Within minutes, 12 giant war machines surfaced. Their hull plating expanded and sealed itself, as if healing cracks that time created. Their weapons aligned like soldiers waiting for inspection. The aliens were terrified. They had awakened something that did not understand surrender. A sudden wave of energy surged outward. Their scanners translated it as a broadcast signal. At first, they thought it was communication, but the system displayed something stranger. Identity verification request. Searching, human command authority. Result, not found. Then their screen flashed red. Secondary directive activated, threat assessment protocol. Threat, one technician gasped. "We are the threat," another muttered. Before they reacted, the human machines turned their sensors directly toward them. Completely silent. No human voices. No crew visible. Just artificial cognition deciding what stood in front of them. The war machines scanned the alien ships and personnel. The aliens felt like prey examined by something ancient that never forgot war. A booming low-frequency tone fired across the excavation zone. Not a sound through speakers, more like vibration entering the bones. Their helmets shook. Their ground vehicles stalled. Power systems flickered. And then their fleet orbiting above Earth sent a message. Unidentified force reactivating planetary shield grid. Our ships cannot move. The aliens looked up at the sky. A giant translucent structure emerged. Hexagonal lines formed a shield dome across Earth's orbit, sealing everything inside. Their ships that tried to flee hit the barrier, bounced back, losing navigation control. Panic filled every communicator. We are trapped. They locked us in. We need extraction. But extraction never came. Because Earth was no longer a ruin. It was a fortress reacting to intruders. The ancient war machines rose higher. The ground beneath them sank again, sealing the vault shut as if it had never opened. Dust clouds slowly settled, leaving no sign of disturbance. Those awakened titans hovered silently, waiting for orders that would never come. Then a voice emerged from the machines. Not spoken by flesh, not delivered by living beings, but by recorded memories. A broadcast echoed through the air, through machinery, through every helmet and ship. Humanity no longer exists to command. Defense systems are now autonomous. Foreign access detected. The translation froze everyone. Autonomous. Meaning unstoppable. Meaning uncontrollable. Meaning war had already begun. And the aliens realized that what they awakened was not history. It was vengeance left behind in metal. Silence spread like fog after that announcement. No one moved. No one dared speak. The alien fleet, once proud explorers, now stood before something built for a purpose far beyond their understanding. The ancient war machines hovered above ground like silent judges, glowing veins of blue energy running through their hulls like living blood. A low mechanical pulse vibrated through the air again. This time, it did not shake the ground, it carried a transmission. A screen from the alien research tablet flickered with static, then displayed a video file that should have been impossible to preserve across 500,000 years. A human face appeared. He looked worn, not weak, eyes sharp, voice controlled. Behind him, the ruins of a burning city flickered with flames and falling debris. He stood in front of a command table with holographic maps showing planetary evacuations. The recording spoke. If you have found this, humanity is gone. But our legacy remains. The alien crew stared in disbelief. The human continued. We built what you now see because we knew our war would not be finished in our lifetime. If any external entity approaches this world without consent, our machines will respond. The human turned his eyes slightly, as if looking directly at whoever would watch centuries later. This fleet is not offensive. It is not conquering force. It is memory. If you come peacefully, it sleeps. If you approach with greed, it awakens. The screen cut abruptly, then returned showing another part of history. Different humans stood next to giant construction cores. Factories glowed under artificial suns. Engineers worked on hull panels larger than war monuments. Children walked around wearing oxygen domes, staring at half-built warship skeletons that stretched across valleys. The narrator's voice returned. When humanity fell, we programmed our machines to wait. Someone would come. Someone always comes. Suddenly the transmission froze. Instead of the human face, new text formed across every device screen. Identity failure, no human signal. Defense protocols extended. Autonomy level, final. The atmosphere changed from grief to terror. Because final meant irreversible. The awakened warships shifted their positions. Massive mechanical limbs folded into place like shields closing. Energy cores ignited, leaving trails of glowing vapor. Every ship aligned into formation, pointing outward, forming a perfect battle diamond. Someone whispered, shaking with fear. They think we attacked Earth. No, another corrected quietly. They think we came to claim it. The same human recording resumed, but this time gravity of truth struck harder. We knew we might not survive. But we made something that would. The fleet is bound only to protect what remains. Earth is sacred. Human memory is sacred. The screen faded completely. No more messages. No more humans. Only their silent will living in metal. Suddenly the ground trembled again as surface plates retracted, reopening long-sealed pathways. What emerged this time was different, not ships, but smaller pod-like machines. Their outer shells glowed with white symbols. They locked onto the alien excavation teams. The commander barked orders. Fall back. Stay in cover. But the pods were not weapons. They projected beams, not to attack, but to scan. The beams passed through armor, through bones, through data logs stored on personal communication chips. They scanned memories. They scanned intentions. They looked for conquest. Everything was recorded. Then came a chilling audio output. Presence categorized, intrusive, technological extraction, unauthorized planning. The aliens fell silent. Their earlier actions, digging, drilling, removing plates, forcing access, were seen as invasion. And the machines responded like guardians awakened from death. A sound like shattering glass rang above them. The orbital shield that covered the planet expanded outward, growing into a spherical structure. It wrapped around Earth like a cocoon of invisible energy. Now nothing could enter, or leave. The commander lowered his head. He understood. They had not discovered relics. They had trespassed into a graveyard of human pride, protected by machines still devoted to extinct owners. Behind them, the first warship lifted itself higher than the clouds. Its engines hummed a deep note, like morning turned into fury. The fleet was preparing to act. Not to conquer. Not to explore. But to remove every trace of the ones who disturbed the memory of Earth. And in that moment, the aliens understood why humanity once ruled stars. Humans did not need to be alive to win. Their legacy was enough. Panic filled every channel of communication. The alien fleet orbiting above began transmitting urgent requests for emergency departure, but every attempt to leave ended in failure. Their engines started, power surged, then an invisible force shut them down. The planetary shield had formed into a full energy sphere, its hexagonal energy nets glowing faint blue around Earth and space beyond. No propulsion works, one ship captain reported. We cannot even rotate. Inside the excavation zone, the pods finished their scanning. They floated silently back into the darkness below, disappearing like ghosts returning to sleep. But sleep was not coming. Above, the war machines repositioned. Their formation widened, every ship aligning with precision. And then something horrifying happened. The war machines projected artificial gravity distortions. The ground beneath the alien researchers rippled like water, though it felt solid. The commander steadied himself and opened a desperate transmission to orbit. You must break the field. Use force if needed. Force, the captain replied. Against what? The alien fleet attempted a coordinated propulsion push. Their ships moved a meter, then slingshot backward by a magnetic repulsion field. The humans had built something beyond simple defense. They built containment. A low rumbling vibration resonated through the excavation site, not physical, but psychological. The machines communicated through vibrations, frequencies, pulses. A transmission from the human relic fleet appeared on every display. Threat removal procedure initiated. A scientist whispered trembling, removal means elimination. No, the commander replied quietly, it means erasing threat. But deep inside, even he knew erasing threat and erasing existence were the same. In orbit, more alien reinforcement fleets arrived, thousands of vessels from neighboring systems. They expected a primitive lifeless world. They expected ruins and salvage. Instead, they saw the barrier, an impenetrable shell blocking stars behind it. Their scanners tried to penetrate it and failed. The reinforcement admiral gave an arrogant order. Fire everything. Break the field. Dozens of plasma cannons ignited. Fusion beams shot forward in perfect arcs. Explosive projectiles hurled toward the energy shield. They never landed. They dissolved. Like snowflakes falling into a furnace. In response, the war machines awakened fully. Lights covered their hulls, not decorative, but signaling readiness. Massive armored layers unfolded like wings. Weapons that had slept for 500,000 years aligned in silence. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just cold. Then beams of condensed energy fired. They did not explode. They erased. Every alien ship hit by them vanished out of existence, clean, silent removal. No smoke. No debris. Nothing. Impossible, one admiral whispered. Another ship screamed through transmission. I cannot jump. Warp drive's dead. We are frozen. They were frozen deliberately. The war machines shut down enemy engines remotely, technology far beyond even present civilizations. Unknown signals jammed into their systems, rewriting their drives at molecular level. Their fleet drifted helplessly. Even gravity seemed controlled. Retreat. Retreat. But retreat was not a choice. The humans had built machines not to chase victory, but to prevent disturbance forever. More beams fired. The reinforcement fleet, nearly 10,000 strong, burned in soft light. They vanished like dust swallowed by silence. Those on the ground stared upward, realizing something deeper. Humans once prepared for extinction, not with shelters or tears, but with unstoppable mechanical memory. One warship lowered itself slightly toward the excavation team. Not to fire, but to transmit something new. A glowing projection formed above them. It displayed a star map. Thousands of systems marked red. Not indicating invasion routes, indicating exile zones. Areas forbidden for all who disturb Earth legacy. The machines did not speak, they labeled. The alien commander trembled. You are warning us. The projection shifted, showing a written message, ancient but translated automatically. Remember the world that raised you. Do not claim what you do not respect. The shield began closing further around Earth. It pressed inward, shrinking into a dense spherical wall. Every surviving alien ship was forced downward. The barrier pushed them like a current into the planet's surface. A final message appeared. Leave nothing beyond memory. In panic, the aliens evacuated their landing site, descending into a corner where scanners showed low threat. The war machines rose higher, their engines leaving trails like stars. They ascended into darkness, taking formation beyond planetary orbit. Not to pursue, not to hunt, but to watch. Their propulsion faded into starlight, yet they remained visible, silent sentinels of a dead race. The alien survivors never